Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us before lunch. The title of the lunch is kind of funny for me because, it's P2P. The reason because we picked the title and the name and such is because P2P is such an overloaded term these days. P2P, it all started with different network communications and such. Then, of course, we had all kind of maybe not too legal things, and then P2P payments and so on and so forth. As of today, P2P in Algorand has different meanings, and we picked two very interesting approaches. The first one has to do with the network itself. So Urso is going to give us interesting presentation, which is going to cover a little bit of the gossip network and how the nodes are going to communicate and how we're really seeking truly decentralized network architecture within Algorand. And then Pavel, it's funny because the name's kind of the same, Pavel, but his nickname is Urso. Pavel, on the other hand, is going to explain a little bit more about what is P2P.org, which I really like the name, but you might not guess what it is. And the idea is to use this as an excuse to start some P2P conversations. So I would really encourage you to pick someone that you don't really know, introduce yourself, and sell lunch afterwards. So, Urso, if you don't mind starting your presentation.
Okay, can you hear me? Oh, it's working. The presentation is like 2 hours long, but because there's lunch and my voice is failing, it will only take 5 minutes. Okay, I'm the founder of Nodely, Algorand RPC infrastructure provider, and the screen is black. Oh, okay. So what's the current state of the network before the peer-to-peer introduction? I would say it's one of the most decentralized networks already. Like we had almost 7,000 unique IP addresses connected to the network daily. We recently brought this metric down or redefined this metric to a full-time connected nodes, which is around 4,000 right now. So why such a high number? Because it's really cheap to run an Algorand node. You can have one in your basement for like $100. It uses not so much traffic on your internet. And if you want to stake algo, all it takes is 30,000 algo to do native staking. You don't have to do pooling. You just stake it on your node, and it's not frozen. You can do whatever you want with your algo. As long as it's above 30K, it brings you yield. And we also, because a lot of nodes are run at home, we don't need super duper infrastructure. We have like the best network split compared to other chains. We are not, you don't see it, but like the 12% of networks host a single node. So it's not like we were hosted in AWS. AWS has like less than 10% of nodes. It doesn't show here. But if you go to Nodely's dashboard, you will see that we are truly decentralized. Nodes are not in a few data centers like it's with other chains. But what's wrong with the picture? Like we have 4,000 nodes. They are fully decentralized. Why do we need to push forward and make changes? Because we still rely on relays, which is like you run a node, but basically what you do, you only take from the network. No traffic goes through your network. We are not using your home node or your cloud node to broadcast the traffic. So still there are, right now it's around 85 dedicated servers around the world that broadcast the traffic. And they are permissioned in a way where the directory of those relays is controlled by the foundation. Nodely is running our own relays since 2022, so it's not like it's permissioned. Everyone can use our relays and not depend on relays, permission relays that are sponsored by the foundation. So I would tell that because like all projects can run relays themselves. Many projects use our own relays, so it's not like the permissioned relays make it very centralized. But still, we can do better. Okay, we have 19 relays. The relays are a bit more expensive to run because they need more bandwidth. And yeah, they need, the machine is, maybe you can run it in a cloud for 100 USD a month. If it's AWS, it's 300 USD a month. So it's expensive. But with the new approach, that is going to incorporate Leap peer-to-peer, known and used in other chains, we are switching to a model where we still can have fast centralized relays, permissioned relays, but they're not going to be needed anymore because the directory now will be decentralized. So you can run at your home a relay. You can decide that your node is no longer a node that is a client only, it can be a server. And you know how much capacity you have at home, and you can decide how many people can go through your node and how much you want to help the network to broadcast the traffic. And it's actually pretty awesome technology where you can kill all the centralized networks, you can kill clouds, and it will survive. So we can run in a what can be called a coverage mode that is going to survive with all the clouds being down. And basically, the network can still continue running with only home computers in a fully decentralized manner. And you can, like with other chains, force you to use the nodes as a servers. Algorand is not going to force you to do anything. You can run it as a client only in the peer-to-peer network. You can decide how much you're going to help the network with your own bandwidth. There are still things to be done, like the code is running since November 24, but because the traffic requirements for running a relay are quite high, it's still not a default mode for running a node. This year, there will be optimizations to the network traffic. It's going to drop at least 50%, and then you'll be fine to run a relay in your business. That's like a snapshot for the peer-to-peer dashboard in November 24. A lot of technical stuff that I'm going to skip. Roadmap. Okay, so the first release is not going to be very user-friendly. You are going to need static IP address, but later it's what we have right now. And also parts of messages are going through the peer-to-peer network, but later this year, or with the next releases, we're going to introduce NAT handling, so you don't have to think about the static IP address, and all the messages are going to be broadcasted through this peer-to-peer network. Yeah, that's it. You're going to be able to announce your home node and everybody will be like permissionlessly, and everybody will be able to use your node to get transactions and consensus data. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's up?
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask Pavel first to introduce himself, to what he does, and then I'm going to be asking a couple of them a few questions that I still have also for Urto. So, yeah, Pavel, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, hello guys. Nice to meet you. Nice to connect. So my name is Pavel. I'm leading research direction within P2P.org strategy team. So my role there is to inform product executives and strategy team decisions and help with business growth, basically, right? So P2P, we are one of the largest non-custodial staking providers. So we operate in multiple networks and working with largest clients like custodians, CXs, wallets, and And also, like, we got a pretty nice reputation in terms of our reliability and safety. So retail guys also find themselves enjoying staking with us. That's pretty much.
Okay, wonderful. And your role within P2P.org is researcher. So what kind of stuff do you actually research?
Oh yeah. So apparently, I cannot work on every blockchain and every topic, but I try to cover a lot. My main occupation is working on validator economics, supporting the core business, staking core business, and block space monetization thing. This is something that we can relate with MEV or lending services, priority fee markets, this kind of stuff. And at the same time, I help our staking team with figuring out the risks around slashing, how you can approach the modeling, sorry, not modeling, but building a framework for risk taking portfolio management.
Okay, I have a question for both of you. Maybe Urso, you can start first. We keep talking about decentralization and importance of decentralizations, but without all the marketing, fluffy, all the marketing stuff, why would you say decentralization is important? Or maybe you think it's not important at all and it's just something that we must have?
Okay, so I have a maybe different perspective. I run an infrastructure provider. So usually, like what I observed from what's going on, infrastructure providers are building those silos. When you start using them, you cannot get out. Like you are forced to use them forever. And my idea is to actually help customers start with Nodely, but then when their business grows and decentralization starts mattering for them, like they can no longer rely on a centralized infrastructure provider. Nodely is not centralized, but still it can be viewed as a single entity that their project depends on. So for me, decentralization is how easy I can help my customers to be on their own. And with Algorand, it's actually very easy because of how cheap the nodes are, how easy it is to connect to the network. So helping customers become on their own is what decentralization is about for me.
Makes sense. Pavel, what about for you?
Yeah, I actually think that decentralization itself is a like very nice value proposition that blockchains can offer. Um, well, so from the perspective of like economic actors, you need something that will guarantee you safe settlement across your deals, where you don't rely on the counterparty and true neutral blockchains, true decentralized blockchains, they offer this kind of stuff so that even like rival parties can make deals, which is very important in like if you look at the world, we kind of like witnessing this deglobalization trend. And I guess decentralization as a value proposition in this like macro environment is very important product. Even though not every blockchain has to be decentralized, I guess you can even like picture, sorry, not picture, but draw the spectrum of the decentralization. And so users of those blockchains, they will just pick some and compare it with their like risk averse, like, sorry, not risk, with their risk preferences, right? Someone will need really decentralized blockchains so that no one can censor them and they can safely store assets there. Some people will be fine working with some centralized sequencer, centralized L2 rollup, and having better experience, user experience, because decentralization often comes with some costs, right? And it's much more efficient to build centralized solution.
Perfect. I have two more questions, one for each of you, and then I let everyone go for lunch. The one for you, Urso. So if I understood correctly, one of the big changes of this P2P network is this COSIC component where I can talk to pretty much every node in the network. How can I know if a node is alive or not? Is there any mechanism for me to check that, or how am I supposed to do that?
So actually, the implementation, peer-to-peer implementation in Algorand, you're fully anonymous. So actually, if everybody switches to peer-to-peer only, we'll lose the count of how many nodes are there in the network. So it will be very hard to tell. Like, we have 4,000 nodes right now, but when we become fully peer-to-peer, we'll not be able to tell anyone, oh, we have 4,000 nodes. We'll be clueless. Like, it's really beautiful how this is fully anonymous. Unless you choose to broadcast your identity, we'll never tell how many nodes are there. But also the beauty in the peer-to-peer implementation is that every connection to the network has a score. And bad actors are pruned out very quickly. So it's really, out of like 7 types of attacks you can perform on a decentralized network, actually none of them can be done with this implementation that we're going to deploy. So it's really fully anonymous nodes, but still trusted in a decentralized manner because of the individual scoring that is going on.
Okay, makes sense. And then the last question for you, Pavel, since P2P support multiple networks, and I personally believe that the world is truly multi-network, multi-chain, and multi-everything, would you also consider this multi-network, multi-chain approach as part of the decentralization from the user perspective, where I can have the freedom to go to any place that offers me the best deal, or how do you see that from the researcher's perspective?
May I clarify the question? So you're asking whether the chain abstraction solutions, they actually like make sense?
Yep.
I don't feel so. I think that users don't need to think about what chain they are operating on and trying to understand the technical stack, what are the caveats of working on these chains. And apparently chain abstraction right now getting more traction than even before. And I think that we're gonna face really multi-chain environment, a multi-chain market structure in the future with like applications running their own chains because they want to control the profits and what's going on there. Like, for example, decentralized exchange, they are very incentivized to run their own upchain. So in this world, you have like modular structure where user without chain abstraction solutions would have to navigate across them. And this is not acceptable if you want to onboard someone. So you have to build that.
Indeed. Okay, thank you very much. As a summary, since this is an Ethereum event, like it counts and such, what I would like to recap is first, if you're looking for your RPC to get into Algorand, that would be with Notely. And if you're also looking for a re-staking solution, that would be with P2P.org. So thank you very much and enjoy your lunch. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.